think it's definitely helped me figure out more about what it means to be an artist in Montreal and the history that comes alongside that as well.
A new lens for me to see the piece I'm working on.
As I guess a fellow African, it felt good to have the opportunity to get to know someone and be, mentored and kind of guided by somebody who I guess understands the land in that way, and that specific type of land, because it's beautiful.
I was exposed to a lot of different ways to develop your craft.
The sharing circles, they offered a lot of different ways for getting together into a work that might not come, where you might not have a shared connection to the work, where it might be based in one person's background, life story, history, roots that they're bringing into it, and how to get into that collectively, even if everyone is also coming from different roots or backgrounds.
This process has made me want to look into the other community that I'm from and try and learn more about that land and where everything kind of stems there, and bring that into my art.
Although I've been in Montreal for a very long time, I immigrated here, and I'm from the Philippines, born there, and I'm writing about the Philippines. My story is two out of the trilogy that I'm writing. Two of them are based in the Philippines, and my question was, for me, is am I Filipino enough to write this story? Am I Filipino enough? And spending time with the people in nested circles and listening to how they felt displaced and in between cultures had also made me feel really like I'm not alone in this.
But I never actually gave myself the permission to be like, no, I'm living in Montreal, so my story is in Montreal. That's all. There's no more reason needed. This is the place.
Getting to see their practice and how they sort of view the arts and how they deal with creating their own work is very eye-opening for me for that, especially when we talk about how land is very, very vital.
I've been doing theater for about 3-4 years now, and I think that this residency really made me open my eyes to a broader community of people here, and different opinions, but also a very common feeling that a lot of people share of through the circles. I think there was a very mutual understanding and sharing of opinions, and I think that that's something that I'm going to take away and just have the perspective that if I'm creating theater in Montreal, that there's a community also around it, and how that affects our community and what the community feels like.
To be able to walk into this room and see so many different people that I don't know that have come, and they're all theater people. They're all interested for some reason in this. They're not coming to this for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So that's really nice. It's all of a sudden this door just bursts wide open with all these new people, in the world, in our theater world. So that's very exciting.
Our collaboration was more so around how could I support that piece's development. And I think for me, the sharing circles were a really great chance to connect with more community around that play and ask the questions that we were getting stuck on maybe.
Yeah.
And just get inspired from other people's practices.
In my future work from Nested Circles is really the workshop we did with Lindsay Lachance about being inspired by the landscape to inform your play's structure.
And also guided me to use my movement or my body to explore the inner feeling of this art piece. We are still in the process, but it's very promising, and I think the residency definitely helped us to work on the piece and explore the relationship between the inner self and the inner voice of the language.
Lindsay's her idea of seeing storytelling and really not treating it as a separate thing, but it's the creativity from within, and then you said land is within us, and It's sort of like a spiritual journey a little bit.
And just other like forms of creative exploration that honestly like we just aren't exposed enough to because it doesn't fit into like the status quo.
But I really love the theory around Lindsay Lachance's dramaturgy of the land. Land dramaturgy, because it definitely opened my mind to thinking about that, and I'll keep thinking about how that can be built into my practice. So yeah, using the forms of the land, or what the land is kind of offering, and the shapes of it, the sounds of it, like trying to really kind of understand. So the concept is there, but in terms of deepening that understanding, I'm going to be working on that personally, because yeah, that to access dramaturgy in that way is something that I'm looking forward to explore further. Yeah.
The opportunity to be able to meet and work with people who are from this land, I think was incredible. And definitely something, you know, that I keep and I cherish, and it allowed me to see how people have this like creative process or approach on their land, you know, compared to, well, we're doing our thing on somebody else's land, but we're bringing our thing. So I think that was really, really special, and I'm very happy that, you know, I was able to experience that too.
Having a better understanding of the history of the land definitely alters your perception of things.
It's kind of like I realized how much I can get from the land, and like it can be either like a specific street, or it can be a park, and it can be something more like nature.
Expand my knowledge, or to challenge the way that I've been taught storytelling, and to be more curious about the land as well, and just be more aware that there is so much more than what we're told right from the get-go as a storyteller or a creator.
Like, I'm so grateful that I met Mireille. Like, we have a lot of common friends that we didn't get the chance to meet before, and I felt like immediately that there is really strong connection between me and her, especially that we are working in a project that's completely different in some way, like very connected.
And when she showed me her resume and her portfolio, I was incredibly blown away. And her work, and it was just really incredible to spend the time with her as well, because she's, you know, we've become friends.
I know.
So that's something that I feel so grateful for. Your friendship.
The community that this particular type of program, because of the sort of mandate of the program, brings together. Like in theater, sometimes things can get a little bit like, what's the word I'm looking for? Homogenous?
Despite our different upbringings, there's still a lot of similarities in that. And I think that's something that's always been integral to my work, at least, is trying to find a bridge to cross so that it's not just relatable for me, but it's relatable for everyone else.
It reminds me, I was just thinking about like the mother-daughter relationship, but also the mentorship. I got a lot from this. I mean, I'm supposed to be the mentor, but I got so much because it reminds me too about what happens in early works, and also when you're, you know, just emerging as a young artist into this very challenging world.
One thing that I've learned through this whole experience really is that there's a ton of things that you can do to learn more. There's much more to learn out there. There's more change that can happen, and that's really what I've come out with at the end of each and every one of the sessions. Mostly it's that there's constant change and there's constant learning.
The workshops that stick out in my mind were the ones that really were encouraging us to work from land, like to work and land being literal and metaphorical, as in culture, as in what you grew up with, as in things that are familiar to you and that kind of thing. And I know that when I first started, you know, like I started my theater career also in North America a long time ago, and because I was very much fresh off the plane, that connection and the things that came natural from the ways in which we practice certain things from where I'm from, not necessarily even artist things, but they do add to your artistry. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So seeing Charly now, it's like not even just a reminder, but like it's like seeing it again in front of me. I'm like, oh, I can see them using, and they talk about just things that they brought with them from Mauritius, from their Malay background, is like all the different backgrounds, and being very unapologetic about it, because you can come here and that kind of stuff can be like relegated to the side as like informal education when it's actually incredibly valuable.